One of the biggest questions people have before an MSC cruise is about the food. What's it actually like, and how does dining work day to day on MSC Poesia? There are mixed opinions about the food, so in this video I'll show you what's included, what's worth it, and where to eat on board. You'll see real menus, photos of the food, and my honest opinion. Let's start with breakfast. On MSC Poesia, you've got three main ways to do breakfast. You can eat in the buffet, you can eat in the main dining room, which is Fontaine on deck 5, or you can order a continental breakfast to your cabin. The buffet is the obvious option, and it's absolutely fine. There's plenty of choice, and it's what most people do because it's quick, and you can just fit it around your plans for the day. You'll usually find the familiar basics: cooked breakfast items, eggs, bacon, sausages, beans, hash browns, plus pastries, breads, cereals, fruit, yogurt, and usually waffles and pancakes as well. Tea and coffee stations are easy to find, and there's no shortage of seating. It can get busy at peak times, especially on a sea day morning. But it's one of those situations where it looks chaotic when you walk in. Then you realize if you take 30 seconds and walk a bit further, you can nearly always find somewhere to sit. If you want something calmer, breakfast in Fontaine in the main dining room is a good option. But I'm going to be honest about what it was like. The food itself was good, and there is plenty of options on the menu. But the service could be a bit all over the place. Some mornings you'd be offered juice, bread, pastries, coffee, and tea, without even asking. And other mornings you'd be sat there thinking, right, is anyone coming over? And you'd have to ask for basics. It's not a disaster, and it didn't ruin breakfast, but it's the kind of inconsistency people notice on MSC. I'll put the breakfast menu on screen here, so you can get a feel for what's included. You can also order breakfast to your cabin, and it is a continental breakfast, and a handy option if you want a quiet morning, or if you've got an early excursion and you'd rather eat on your balcony while you get ready. Here's the important bit that a lot of people miss on MSC. If you're in a Bella Experience cabin, you pay a delivery fee for room service breakfast. If you're in Fantastica, it's free. Either way, the process is simple. You fill in the breakfast card the night before, pop it on your door, and it arrives in the morning. It's not a huge breakfast. Think pastries, bread, jams, cereal, yogurt, fruit, and drinks. It's not going to replace a full buffet breakfast, but it's a good option to have. And one more thing that's worth knowing on MSC Poesia. There is a brunch on one of the sea days. It's a nice idea if you want a lazy start and you don't want to rush, because it basically replaces lunch on that day. And here is the menu, so you can see what's on offer. Lunch on MSC Poesia is mainly two options again. You've got the buffet, and also the main dining room Fontaine on deck 5. If you prefer a quieter start to the cruise, Fontaine at lunchtime on Embarkation Day is usually a better option than the buffet. Embarkation Day lunch in the buffet can feel hectic. Everyone's on board, everyone's hungry, and most people automatically head straight up to the buffet. The main dining room is calmer. You're seated, you can actually relax, and it feels like a much nicer start to the cruise. Here is the menu for the Embarkation Day lunch. As I mentioned earlier, one of the sea days is a brunch day, which replaces lunch in the main dining room in Fontaine. On the other sea day, there is a normal lunch menu in Fontaine, and it's worth checking the daily planner to see what's running. It's a nice change from the buffet, and a more relaxed way to enjoy lunch if you want to slow things down. I'll put that menu up on screen here. Lunch is available in the main dining room on a port day as well. But realistically, you only benefit from that if you're back on board in time. Now let's talk about the buffet at lunch, because this is where MSC Poesia does something very well: the pizza. People always say MSC has some of the best pizza at sea, and on MSC Poesia, it really was pretty good. It's the kind of lunch you can go back to again and again, because it's simple, it's reliable, and it tends to be fresher than some of the other hot buffet items that have been sitting a bit longer. Alongside the pizza, the salad bar was a strong point as well. If you want something lighter, you can build a proper plate that doesn't feel like you've eaten beige food in a cafeteria. In terms of the rest of the lunch buffet, the options are fine. You'll see plenty of familiar hot dishes, pasta, rice dishes, vegetables, and then desserts. There is also a vegan section and an Asian corner. The key thing to know is that the buffet can feel a bit repetitive across the day because the evening buffet offerings are often similar to lunch, just with a slightly different mix. Dinner on MSC Poesia is where people can get confused because dining is more structured than on many other cruise lines, with fixed dining unless you're on the Aurea package, which allows more flexibility. On MSC Poesia, there are 2 main dining rooms. Il Palladio is on Deck 6 with red chairs and carpets, and La Fontaine is on Deck 5 with blue chairs. You'll be allocated one on your cruise card, and the menus are the same in both. In the main dining room, there are 2 sittings. Early is at 5:30 p.m. and late is at 8 p.m. You'll be allocated a dining time, a restaurant, and a table, and all of that will be printed on your cruise card. This means you don't just turn up whenever you fancy in the main dining room, you are assigned. One thing that's also worth understanding is table size. If you're a couple, you'll usually be seated at a shared table unless there's availability for a table for 2, which can be more limited. If you're already a party of 4 or 6, it's much easier to request a table just for your group. Any table requests are best done before you sail, or as early as possible on the first day. The good news is that if your dining time doesn't work for you, it can often be changed early in the cruise. On my sailing, they had a station set up near the Zebra Bar to deal with dining changes, and I was able to switch from late to early dining quite easily. In terms of the food in the main dining room, the choice was pretty good, and there was always something I wanted to eat. The overall standard and consistency didn't quite match Princess or Royal Caribbean, and the difference I noticed most was in service, rather than the food itself. If you're coming from Princess, where the dining room experience is very polished, MSC can feel a little less consistent. If you're used to P&O Cruises, the structure will feel familiar, but the style is different. I'll put a sample main dining room menu up on screen here. And this is the gala dinner menu. The food was nice, but it didn't feel particularly elevated, so I'd treat it as a normal dinner rather than a big event. I've also linked a PDF of all the onboard menus in the description if you want to look through them before you sail. If you prefer something more casual in the evening, the buffet is open, and that's absolutely fine. Just bear in mind that the evening buffet is often similar to lunch, so I'd treat it as a convenient option rather than the highlight of the day. MSC does offer late-night buffet snacks, but the selection is limited and it's not a big late-night spread. Now let's talk about what costs extra, because MSC Poesia has 2 specialty dining options to know about, and one of them has been recently introduced since the refit. First is Kaito Sushi, and this was genuinely the standout meal for me. The food was fabulous, it was quiet in there, and it felt like a proper break from the routine of buffet and dining room. It's also one of those places where booking in advance can make it cheaper, so if you're already thinking you want to do it, it's worth checking the price before you sail, rather than leaving it until you're on board. I paid €34, which in cruise terms is not expensive for a specialty meal, especially when you compare it to what other cruise lines charge for specialty dining. And here is the menu. The second is Butcher's Cut, which is a newer addition on MSC Poesia after the February 2026 refit, and it has taken over part of the buffet area. If you like a steakhouse-style meal, that's the one you'll be looking at. And here is the menu. The key thing here is value and expectations. If you're going to pay extra on MSC Poesia, I would focus on what you're actually getting for the money. Kaito felt worth it, because the quality jump was obvious. MSC Poesia is a smaller ship, so there are fewer dining options, which is worth bearing in mind when you're booking. The food was good, with plenty of choice, but it doesn't match Royal Caribbean or Princess, and at this price point, that's not a surprise. I've linked all the dining menus as a PDF in the description. To see where everything actually is on board, click on screen to watch my full MSC Poesia ship tour.